Hello there, welcome back to the channel. In Japan in the 90s, at the same time Ringu was in production, Koji Suzuki's second novel in the Ring series, Spiral, was getting adapted at the exact same time. They would be released in some Japanese markets as a double feature of Ringu and Spiral, based on the title of the book. Audiences took to Ringu, they did not take to Spiral. By not taking to Spiral, a panic came out within that year, bringing us the last video of Ringu 2. So technically that means there's two versions of a second Ring movie. Today we're talking about Spiral, the first of the Ring 2 stories. Now I know what you're thinking. MH, they shoot series together all the time. How many Avengers movies have been shot back to back? Peter Jackson made a whole Hobbit trilogy. No, did two Hobbit trilogies at the same time. What makes this Japanese duology different? Well, one was made by one company, and the sequel was made by a separate company, sharing production crew, but not sharing screenwriters or director, but still having cast pass back and forth. That's where the similarities end. Ringu follows the book fairly steadily, but changes things to increase pacing and streamline things down. As I've talked about before, someone who's read the book and seen the movie, I like the book. The movie streamlines things kind of in a nicer way. It loses some cool stuff, but mostly streamlines it good. That production team making Spiral, on the other hand, I don't think they had access to what the other company was doing with Ringu, aside from pulling cast, which really creates all the big problems for the movie, which is the things that they're choosing to adapt straight from the book versus the things that they're making up don't really jive when you realize, oh, a lot of these things require the dependence of details that were in the first book. But that first movie did not include those details, so you're referencing stuff that doesn't have a reference point. One of the big connections in regard to that is the first book, kind of dealing with the fact that Sadako was killed near a clinic that was housing tuberculosis and smallpox victims. In fact, there's a huge deal made about the fact that her curse spreads biologically very similar to smallpox, and under microscope it looks like smallpox. In the second book, you get that realization of, oh, it kind of looks like smallpox, but it's mutating into something new. By not including any of the smallpox connections in the first movie, mentioning it and having it play a part in the second one just creates confusion. Also, somehow in the second movie, they just gloss over for most of the whole, how do we stop the curse? How do we stop the curse? Not once do they mention you just make a copy of the tape. Oh, no, they'll get a hold of the cursed tape and just break it. And then still wonder, I don't know how we're going to survive this. Well, dummies. Again, as someone who's read both of these books, what they choose to take from Spiral and what they choose to not take is kind of baffling. Spiral, the movie, has one line, and I do mean one line, that actually establishes, oh yeah, the math guy's student, who's only in like 2 scenes in the first movie, and is the major star of the second sequel, oh yeah, that was his girlfriend. He was totally having a student-teacher relationship thing. It's more heavily implied in the book. It's more clear in both books. It's kind of hinted at in the first movie. No, this is what this is. You get one line, we're not referencing it again. And it's not even really relevant to the plot, so why mention it? Not the way they change it. And speaking of Math Boy, his name on the screen now, let's talk about how they treat him in this movie. Spoiler alerts for the book. In the first Ring book, we get several lines from him talking about his dislike of humanity as a whole. But, still a man who's going to help beat this ghostly monster because, well, I mean, I'm a person, that's my job. I can't side with the ghosts. Second book. Oh yeah, in his death, he totally sides and teams up with Sadako, and they're going on this elaborate plan that's going to end up in a post-apocalypse. Literally, the book ends in a way that sets up, oh yeah, pretty much all of humanity is going to be dead in about a year. Great, he's the villain. How's the movie handle this? Oh, he just teams up with Sadako. Why? Oh, no reason. Honestly, I understand why they decided to scrap this and do a better Ring 2, because following the book, full of neat ideas, not really sequel-y, follow-up-y. But taking the book out of it and just taking the movie on its own, how is the movie as it is? As a standalone movie that has no connection, as if you've never seen any of the previous work, it's okay. It's not scary at all. It plays like a drama. Not a bad drama. It's just confusing because you have it referencing things that you haven't seen. As a follow-up to Ringu, no. No, it doesn't match at all. It has no business being labeled as a sequel. It has none of the visual style. It has none of the tonal style, despite the fact sharing sets and locations and a cast, it might as well be, well, heck, I think a lot of people treat it as a secondary universe. It doesn't matter. Should you watch it? Yeah, sure, it's a fun watch. I gave it 3.5 stars. I wasn't mad that I watched it. I'm glad that I watched it, because it's a mind-boggler of why these choices? What led a production team to comb through that book and go, okay, we want to take this, 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 and this. We're going to leave these things out because willy-nilly, we're just leaving them out. If you want to ask what is the canon of Ringu movies, there's Ringu and Ringu 2. You can skip Spiral. Only watch it if you're a real diehard who liked the book or is just a completionist for it. Other than that, Anyway, so that's all of the Ringu series I'm doing for right now. I have the disc for Ringu Zero, which is a prequel about Sadako's life before she died. I feel like Ringu 2 both covered that as interesting as it's going to get. And from what I've heard in reviews, it's described as Japanese Carrie, which in some ways is kind of intriguing, and in other ways that's miss me with that. But I might cover it one day. What do you think? Do you want to see me suffer through one more Ringu film? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll take it into consideration and possibly add it to the list, because I don't have 17,000 other movies I want to do too. But I do own it, so I should probably cover it at some point. Still, do you want me to prioritize it? Leave a comment below. Alright, I've had my fill of Japanese horror cinema for the time being. Time to get something else. Something as a palate cleanser. Maybe it's time for a Godzilla movie. Nah, probably not. I'm probably just going to watch Batman 89 again. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm MH Smith. Keep it wabi-sabi, y'all.